Why on earth is Killian Hayes starting? That's a question I don't have the answer to, but it's a big question I have because I don't understand why he's starting. He hasn't been good. He's been downright awful. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. 7 points per game on 30.8, 28.6, 57.1 splits, shooting 32.3% on his 2-pointers, 36.5 effective field goal percentage, 38.1 true shooting percentage. He has the worst field goal percentage among rotation players on the Pistons this season. He has the third worst 3-point percentage among rotation players on the Pistons. Second worst if you add the qualifier of them taking at least one per game. He would be second worst behind Asar Thompson. Third worst if you include Bagley. And look at his 2-point percentage. He has the second worst 2-point field goal percentage on the team behind Alec Burks. The difference is Alec Burks is shooting 53.8% on 6.5 3-point attempts per game. And there's really no way around it. He hasn't been good. He also has the worst effective field goal percentage and true shooting percentage among the rotation players in Detroit. And I don't know what you do. He's not generating rim pressure on tape, and that lines up with the numbers. Per dunks and threes, he has taken just 0.8 rim attempts per game and is shooting 0%. The rim field goal percentage does not qualify for percentiles because he hasn't played enough games, but his rim attempts are in the 7th percentile, so it's not like he's drawing attention in the paint, really. And he's not a good shooter, obviously, either. And he's still starting. Now, I'm not saying that, Killian can't do anything on the court. He's actually a really good defensive player. He's been a good defensive player for a while now. He's a really good passer, natural feel and instincts. But none of that matters if you can't score. And he can't score efficiently. And you look at the other guards on the team, and both of them that I look at that should be getting more minutes are playing much better. Marcus Sasser should be getting more minutes. Marcus Sasser is more productive as a scorer, despite playing literally less than double the amount of minutes that Killian does. Killian is averaging 29.2 minutes per game. Sasser is averaging 14.2 minutes per game. And Sasser is averaging 7.2 points per game on 59.3, 56.3, 100 splits. He's also shooting 63.6% on his 2-pointers, 75.9 effective field goal percentage, and a 77.1 true shooting percentage. Again, he's more productive, he's more efficient while playing more than double less the amount of minutes. And Jaden Ivey is playing close to 9 less minutes per game and is also way more productive and way more efficient. He is averaging 20.7 minutes per game to Killian Hayes is 29.2 minutes per game, and Ivey's averaging 11.8 points per game on 49.1, 40.9, 83.3 splits. He's shooting 54.8% on his 2-pointers. He has a 57.5 effective field goal percentage and a 60.9 true shooting percentage. So, I really think both those guys should be getting more minutes because they are proving to be better. And, I'm not going to act like Hayes is the only player that's been inefficient on the Pistons. Asar Thompson hasn't been efficient either. But the difference is, while Hayes is a good passer and he's a solid defender, Asar is doing things outside of the scoring at a much higher level than Hayes is. He's been great defensively. He's a solid passer. Maybe not Hayes as a passer yet, but I think he's more effective as a passer because he's more aggressive as a scorer. And on top of that, he's been one of the best rebounders in basketball through these first 6 games. He is averaging 4.2 offensive rebounds per game, which is top 5 in the NBA. So, like, Hayes, it's really hard to justify this. Like, again, I know he's a solid defender, he's a good passer. That can't make up for whatever he's doing as a scorer, which isn't really anything at all. And when you look further into the numbers, comparing them to previous seasons, you know, there is a chance that this is a slow start. I actually liked somewhat of what I saw last season. It wasn't good, but, you know, I felt like there were moments like, yeah, this is the guy that, like, I was super high on as a prospect. I'll admit, I loved Hayes as a prospect. I had him, I believe, number 6 in that draft. I had him LaMelo 1, Ant 2, Okongwu 3, Maxey 4, I believe Cole Anthony 5, and Hayes was number 6 on my board that year. And he averaged 10.3 points per game, 6.2 assists per game. That's pretty good. But, you know, 37.7, 28, 82.1 splits. I do think the free throw shooting this season will get better as the season goes along, because he's actually been a pretty good free throw shooter throughout his career. But you'll get last season as well. He had a 45.5 true shooting percentage and a 42.6 effective field goal percentage. So, is there a chance he does get better throughout the season? Yes, there is. But it's been rough. And, you know, I know it's year 4 for him, but he's still really young, and he's 22. So, it's not like you can lose all hope yet. Like Chris Dunn, you know, it took him forever, and he finally found a real, like, place in Utah where he's looked pretty good. I think Hayes could do something similar to that. But I just don't know about this Pistons team. Well, not this Pistons team. I like this Pistons team a lot. This Pistons team is really fun. Like, Cade has been really good. He has to cut down on turnovers and work a bit on his finishing, but 3-point shooting has been awesome. Him attacking the basket, like things like that. I've been really impressed by him. Duran's been awesome. Isaiah Stewart has proved me wrong at every turn. Alec Burks has been a great 3-point shooter. Asar, despite the inefficiency, has been nice. Ivy has looked impressive despite a more limited role. And Marcus Sasser, their other rookie, has looked really good as well. But I don't understand the justification, because you have 2 guys playing way less minutes that are playing way better. And when I heard that Hayes was going to start this season, I was thinking, okay, maybe like Ivy plays more minutes, but Hayes starts. I think the idea of having Hayes with more capable players like Cade, Duran, Stewart, in theory, and probably moving forward, Asar Thompson, like having him around those guys, it would limit some of his deficiencies, and having Ivy be that lead guy off the bench would be more effective. But I also expected Ivy to get more minutes, and that hasn't been the case. It's just been rough for Hayes. I hope he can figure this out, because I like Hayes a lot as a prospect. I think there's more than just the fact that he's not good. He suffered a career-altering hip injury a week into his rookie season, the same injury that Isaiah Thomas suffered that effectively ended his career. So I'm hoping he can bounce back. But as of right now, you got 2 guys that are playing better, that should be getting more minutes than him. And if they continue to start him, I don't know what's going to happen. I think this Pistons team, they can be feisty, they can be scrappy, they can maybe make a play-in push, but they aren't going to do that and be successful if they continue starting Hayes. I think maybe if you move Hayes to the bench, give him like 18, 19, maybe 20 minutes per game, having played more of what he showed in flashes last season, maybe it can work out, but as of right now, I just don't know.